Weaver. Why don't we take a look at the Planeswalker? Ashiok kicks off with +2 to exile the top 3 cards.
We're waiting for a little bit here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GP Milan. It is time for the top 8. Marijn Leiber in the booth with Riley Knight. It's a great pleasure to have your company along with us as we get closer and closer, drawing ever nearer to crowning a final champion. We've had a fantastic week here in Italy. It's been amazing to see the enormous diversity of decks in the wide open format that is Modern right here and right now. But it all comes down to this, the final 8 contenders here, all clawing for the crown.
Well, 7 interesting decks, different archetypes, really.
Yeah, 7 different,
Six.
a huge variety of and even variety within the archetypes that we've seen here. We've got a couple of spicy ones, got a couple of decks coming out of left field. Actually, we've got an Amulet of Vigor combo.
So sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah.
So sweet. We've also got an Affinity deck that isn't playing Thoughtcast. It's not playing Galvanic Blast. It's playing the Flash Scale, the scale of something or other, of Chiskoria, I think it is. Scale of Chiskoria, the Affinity for Artifacts Flash card. We've got a couple of Jeskai Ascendancies. We've got a 4-color Jeskai Ascendancy. We've got a 3-color Jeskai Ascendancy. Jeskai Ascendancy 1.5, Jeskai Ascendancy 2.0. That's what's going on there. We've got a burn deck. We've got a burn deck backed up with things like Boros Charm and Treasure Cruise. We have a couple of other things as well, a Timo Delver deck, and of course, where would we be without Birthing Pod? 2 Birthing Pod decks finding their way into the top 8, proving its resiliency. The Abzan colours once again showing that they will find their way to the top tables, of course. There's our bracket on the screen now for your viewing pleasure. Cherished viewer around the world, wherever you are. We're so glad you're able to join us here for the top 8 as we get stuck into the quarterfinals. We're going to be bringing you the match between Niccolo Bellini and Miguel Gatica. It's Pod versus Timo Delver here at the quarterfinals of GP Milan. Let's get underway and head down to the feature match area right now. Hello everyone and welcome to the quarterfinals here at GP Milan. The format is modern. You can see the top 8 there lined up, champing at the bit, ready to go. My name's Riley. I'll be looking after you as we get underway with these matches, and joining me in the booth, it's my very good friend and colleague, Marijn Leiber. How are you, Marijn?
I'm perfectly fine. I'm excited for a top 8.
It's fantastic to see these wizards go to battle. You can see on your screen here your feature match for this quarterfinal is Niccolo Bellini. He's on Birthing Pod to the left of your screen, and Miguel Gatica, all the way from Costa Rica, proudly bearing the flag on his back. He is on Timo Delver, and he's leading things off with a stomping ground after Niccolo Bellini has played a Birthing Pod that immediately eats a lightning bolt for breakfast.
Doesn't think about it. Just get out of there. You don't want to give your opponent a head start with the Birds of Paradise. If you're holding Lightning Bolt and you're going to drop a Tarmogoyf on the next turn, just get rid of that Birthing Pod.
For sure, absolutely. The turn 3 Birthing Pod, the turn 2 Birthing Pod even, one of the most potent threats that the Abzan deck to the left can muster. Timo Delver though, no slouch itself. We've got huge heavy hitting threats like Tarmogoyf. We've got Young Pyromancer in there, of course, backed up by Delver, Monastery Swiftspear, these cards here, proving their worth, proving their mettle time and time again in this modern format that we've all come to know and love. Here's 2 mana, and here is the aforementioned Tarmogoyf.
And it seems like Timo Delver, the only Delver variant in our top 8, seems like the green just adds a lot. We saw it already in GP Madrid 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, and we're seeing it now once again. It's our only copy in the top 8 for Delver.
Dennis Rashid had a lot to say over this weekend about the fact that Tarmogoyf really is something of a mirror breaker here, able to really split open these Izzet decks with being just basically impossible to deal with. You know, you're more or less always going to 2-for-1 yourself to get rid of a Tarmogoyf if you're a blue-red Delver deck. As we see a Spellskite. Now, Spellskite, a problematic card for many decks. How's it going to line up against the Timo colors?
Well, it's fine. It gets rid of like Lightning Bolt and stuff like that. It can eat a Lightning Bolt, but it's not very good against Tarmogoyf, since Tarmogoyf already a 4/5, can't even block there. So yeah, gonna jump in the end maybe, but not the best 2-drop for Niccolo Bellini. He sure would have liked a Wall of Roots or something like that.
So we see Tarmogoyf once again really proving itself to be the top dog when it comes to creature combat in this format here. Already a 4-5, and that's only on turn 2 as Niccolo Bellini plays his third land. It's a Verdant Catacombs.
Yep.
Cracks it open. What's inside? Down to 15 for Bellini. His mana base has come pretty cheap so far with life. Hasn't cost him too much. We haven't seen the old fetch into Shockland 17 on turn 1.
And now again he goes for the basic land. He's just preserving his life total, and it's what he should do really against a Temur Delver deck. We know how quick it can go. Lightning Bolt, Snapcaster Mage, another Lightning Bolt at 6 damage. He's already at 15 and facing that Tarmogoyf as well.
And here's a Kitchen Finks. That's going to pad his life total a little further. So a nice little stabilization play from Bellini there. Here comes the big bad thumper into the red zone. I would argue the biggest, baddest thumper.
We're not going to do that one again. We've done it a couple of times over the weekend.
And here is a second copy of the big bad thumper himself, but no third land. As Bellini draws, what's he got? It's like another Verdant Catacomb.
Yeah, Niccolo can't keep on taking these 4 damage. He has to find a way to deal at least with one Tarmogoyf. Shriekmaw would do it. He doesn't have black yet, but I guess that's what he's going to search for now. But he really needs to find something like Birthing Pot or Shriekmaw to get rid of one of these Tarmogoyfs.
Obviously the namesake card of the deck, Birthing Pot, is going to help him find the answers that he needs, but at the moment he doesn't have one online.
If he could find one, it could be really good. He could sacrifice a Kitchen Finks and then get a Siege Rhino, for example, which would be really good.
That's going to get him 5 life and also drain Gataka for 3. While you're at it, why not get that value, huh? Here's 3 mana.
A tough spot, if he does have the Birthing Pot, he could also, he's going for Sin Collector. If he would have had Birthing Pot, it would have been a great choice between Siege Rhino and Murderous Redcap. Kind of a tough choice to make, but now he's just going for Sin Collector.
Sin Collector, so let's have a look at the grip of Miguel Gatica, courtesy of the Gatecrash 2-1. Let's have a look. I can see there a Delver. I can see a few other cards, a Treasure Cruise amongst them.
Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, and Lightning Bolt.
I'm a big fan of the Spell Pierce in the main.
You do?
I like it.
I don't like too many counters in the Delver deck, because you want to play your spells when you can. When you have Young Pyromancer, when you have Swift Spear, you just want to be able to play all your spells. And then if you're holding Spell Pierce and can't get that 1/1 Elemental token or something, yeah, I don't know.
Sure, so making a crucial difference there when it comes to the being able to play spells on your own terms, you're saying, with the Young Pyromancer in play. In any case, there goes the very powerful 8-cost sorcery from Cans of Tark here. Treasure Cruise hitting the Exile Zone thanks to Sin Collector. The Collector absolving Gattaca of the sinful Treasure Cruise. Gattaca draws. Looks like he's got a Scalding Tarn in hand, so his third land is there if he wants it.
Yeah, main deck he doesn't have many 3 mana. I don't think he's any. Might have like a. Nope, I don't see any except for like, of course, Treasure Cruise, which is 8 mana, but we're not gonna count that one.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Can we be real?
In his sideboard,
Let's be real.
In his sideboard, he does have a couple of three mana costs.
Yeah, we see things like Threads of Disloyalty and even Savage Knuckleblade, Knuckle Sandwich coming in from the board. But in the main deck, we've got a couple of Spell Pierces. One is a Charm as well, which can act as can do a very good impersonation of a Spell Pierce, Moran.
Yeah, now we see a double block. We're not even going to seal Lightning Bolts here. Oh, oh yeah, of course the Spell Sky doesn't allow that. That explains a lot. But this is bad news for Miguel. He does get another 4 damage in, but his opponent gains 2 with the Kitchen Finks that come back. Yeah, this is a close game. This could go either way.
Here's Delver of Secrets. Gattaca going to be hoping that flips on his upkeep. Ships the turn. Bellini untaps, draws a card. What's he got? It's a forest.
Yeah, but
here comes a Razor Verge Thicket.
Oh, he doesn't go for the normal land, so he could activate his Gavity Township. That's strange.
In comes the Sphinx.
That explains a lot. He's just going for Restoration Angel. Restoration Angel, he's gonna blink the Kitchen Sphinx, and then he's gonna gain 2 life. And Spell Snare doesn't help there. Spell Pierce doesn't help.
Setting himself
and Lightning Bolt doesn't help.
Setting himself up for a pretty good turn here, or at least on Gataka's turn, we're going to see some action from Bellini. Restoration Angel, fantastic creature, proven itself time and time again.
Niccolo should do it now, I think. Well, he might be. Yeah, he's probably hoping to ambush one of the creatures, but I don't think Miguel is gonna buy it since he did pass with. Yeah, he should do it now. If he waits and then Miguel draws Mana Leak, that's pretty bad news for him. He should play it safe.
So shuffling the deck.
Since he attacked with the Kitchen Sphinx, he basically signals that he's holding a Restoration Angel.
Yeah, well, I think we all learned that lesson. 4 open mana with a white source available. We know what's going on there. And here it is, indeed. Restoration Angel. Come down. Now blink out that Kitchen Sphinx. How's that sounding? Of course, the Lightning Bolt in response, no good, because it can be redirected to the Spellskite.
And the Spellskite proving to be very crucial in this game so far. First it allowed the double block to work out, and then now it's allowing the Kitchen Sphinx to be blinked with Restoration Angel.
So the Spellskite in double duty here, getting stuff done, although hasn't been doing much in the business of blocking itself. Let's see what Gatica has to say. He says, okay, that's fine. Game 2. Don't even worry about it. Don't even front. That's fine. 2 life, all yours, my friend. Seeing the utility of a creature like Restoration Angel, a 3/4 flyer for 4, I should say, at instant speed, usually with a card worth of value tacked onto it.
Yeah, it's basically a Siege Rhino, but then 3/4 flyer instead, something like that. Yeah. These cards, Bloodbraid Elf, Restoration Angel, Siege Rhino, they're just very good at certain points of the game.
Obviously, absolutely nothing better to blink with a Restoration Angel than a Wall of Omens. I think you'll agree.
I think there's better cards to blink. No?
We'll have to agree.
Muldrifter?
We'll have to agree that you're wrong.
Muldrifter?
Muldrifter. All right, now we're talking. Muldrifter. Evoke Muldrifter. In comes the Restoration Angel. I love it. Anyway, no Muldrifters on the side of Bellini, but he does have a Kitchen Sphinx to work with along with the Angel.
Yeah, now things are looking very, very good for Nicola. He's got a Gavany Township to get going, and he's under no pressure. Even if the Delver flips, he can still block it with the Restoration Angel, so things are looking pretty good. And
the longer this game goes, the longer you're going to favour a deck that has a card like Gavany Township in it. Here's Wall of Roots. Again, another nice defensive shield. It's going to be spell snared, however. I don't think Bellini's too upset about that.
No, because now he can get to resolve the Voice of Resurgence. He basically basically tried to remove the spell snare. He knew about it from the Sin Collector, and he's much more happy with the Voice of Resurgence than with the Wall of Roots.
Yeah, again, the Voice of Resurgence really preventing Gatica from playing the game on his own terms. We've seen cards like Spellskite, cards like Voice of Resurgence, disrupting the natural game plan of the Timo Delver deck, hoping to attack on an angle that the Delver deck really is stifled by. It's having its game plan very much compromised by these powerful 2-drops, as we see a Delver flip thanks to a Thought Scour. It's going to go into the hand of Gatica. So now we've got a 3/2 flyer in the air. However, Gatica down on life. Ahead on cards. Cracks a Misty. It's an island. Got a lot of digging to do though, Marine Libert, to get himself out of this position.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be hard. The spell site is not making his life easy. I mean, he needs to waste 2 lightning bolts to get rid of that. He can start attacking with the aberration, but that's about it so far. Vapor Snack would kind of help him, I guess.
Here's Thought Scour, bidding 2 cards.
Problem is that his hand does nothing. Spell Pierce is useless, so is Lightning Bolt.
His Monastery Swift Spear.
His Monastery Swift Spear is not helping much either. And Voice of Resurgence is making his life miserable, as is the Restoration Angel.
Rethinks the Swift Spear plan, and then rethinks it. Taps 1. Draws a Lightning Bolt to the front of his grip. Upstairs. Sriya. How about that?
He's gonna redirect this, I guess. It's just to save himself one life.
Of course, the activation of Spell Sky not requiring blue mana. You can pay Phyrexian mana there. That's 2 life instead of 1 blue mana. Bellini has the option to do that.
The 1 life is actually relevant because the insectile aberration attacks in steps of 3.
Yeah.
So if he would go to 9, that's only 3 attacks. Where if he is at 10, it's 4 attacks.
So it doesn't hasten the clock there for Gataka as he swings across with the aberration. That Spell Sky eating up that lightning bolt. And here is a Spell Pierce, which was actually a Monastery Swissmere. Very hasty in the deployment of that spell there. Bellini draws a card. Fiddles with his mana. Fiddles with his graveyard. Fiddles with his creatures. He's in the tank here, but how much does he have to worry about, right?
He's at 7. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong from 7 life, especially if you're facing a 3/2 flyer. That means 1 burn spell puts you at 4, 1 attack puts you at 1, and then there's a lot to worry about. So he shouldn't be too hasty.
We're going to see the Angel on staying back here?
Nah, he's got a 2-turn clock. He's probably going to attack. Like, I mean, even if Miguel Gatica draws Lightning Bolt, he's still safe. Yeah, I think he's going to play very well here. Attacking with the Kitchen Finks, I like it.
Well, considering the attack options that Bellini has, how about we have a little update from Dennis Rashid, the Swede. Here he comes. What do you got for us, Dennis?
A first result here from the Glogowski versus Parazzoli match. Glogowski with the Vigor Bloom combo deck with the Primeval Titans did not manage to find his Amulet of Vigors, so he succumbed to a really big Vault Scourge in there with a Cranial Plating. So 1-0 up Parazzoli with Affinity.
Thanks so much for that update there. Dennis will hear more from the Swede in the suit before too long. Bellini still in the tank. Does he want this Kitchen Finks to die?
He does. 2 life is very good at this point, and then he can still put +1/+1 on his Kitchen Finks with the Gavany Township. So
cancelling out the -1/-1 counter, of course.
Yeah.
Fiddles around with his lands a bit more. Of course, no time limit when it comes to the finals of a professional level event, but of course, players still expected to play at a reasonable pace. Here's the attack.
I think this attack is really good. I really do like it. I mean, you see it. Miguel Gatica has to chum block there with the Kitchen Finks. This gives Niccolo the opportunity to pump all of his creatures. He's got now 2 blockers for the Tarmogoyf, and he's got a 2-turn clock. I think this attack was very good.
Well, there you go. Bellini activating the Gavany Township. Let's hear once again as he ships the turn. Let's hear again from Dennis Rashid.
So another result here from the Sagal versus Lanto matchup. Sagal had a land light draw with a Birds of Paradise, which got Shriek Mod, and then a pod into Scavenging Ooze just sealed the game for the unfavorable pod versus Ascendancy matchup, but pod is up 1 game.
All right, the former captain of the English team at the World Magic Cup last year, unfortunately going down in the first game. He'll have to regroup, find that stiff upper lip, and get underway with the second game now as we turn our attention back to Pod versus Delver. It's Bellini versus Gatica, 7 versus 4. Here is a Siege Rhino. Is there an answer? Yes, there is. The answer is scoop 'em up. We are done here. Siege Rhino sealing the deal there. In cahoots with Restoration Angel Kitchen Finks. Niccolo Bellini, after early pressure, stabilising off the back of the powerful Angel from Avacyn Restored. Well done to him. 1-0 in his first quarterfinal match.
Yeah, and this win was greatly due to the Spellskite.
Yeah.
That did so much work there. It was the first Tarmogoyf died to a double block because of the Spellskite, and then the Kitchen Fink was able to be blinked, and it was just so crucial. You said it. How big is it gonna be? And it was very big.
Let's head over now to another match, our backup match. We have Louis Del Tor. He's playing against Lucanto Salvidio. We have Louis on the left. He's playing Jeskai Ascendancy 1.5, as it's come to be known. And we have, 2.0, I should say. And we've got Salvidio Lucanto. He's playing Burn. So
it seems
Louis
like
Del Toro.
we're seeing a fetch in response to the unearthed from on the Fate Stitcher. Not sure what the plan is. I guess he wants to have his land enter the play. Yeah, he's probably holding at least one Searing Blaze, and he wants that land to be already in place so that Luis Del Toro cannot respond to the fetch with Arid Misa.
He's a Fairy Conclave activation as well. Look, Antonio Salvidio still shuffling him up, presents his deck.
Yeah, and Luis probably will have to combo here at instant speed. Can he do that? He's got Thought Scour, he's got Lightning Bolt. I think he's gonna lose his creatures to burn spells, but if he can combo at instant speed and make his Fate Stitcher a 4/5 or a 3/4, then it survives a Lightning Bolt, and that would be pretty good.
Look, Antonio Salvidio tapping 2. You can see there the Jeskai colors as we see Searing Blaze. Del Toro activates Fate Stitcher. Del Toro very cautious when it comes to activating his abilities, and he's got a very clear system. We might actually get a little sneak peek at this into the way that he stacks his triggers and understands everything. He's taken to drawing on his. You can see there using those player cards to represent the Jeskai Ascendancy triggers, and you'll see him use a whiteboard marker to draw on the sleeves of his cards to keep track of the number of Jeskai Ascendancy triggers.
There we see it.
There we go.
Number 1 for Fate Stitcher.
The hottest tech coming out from the Frenchman. And we see a very, very clear representation of the stack on the battlefield. And this is critical in a spell-based deck, combo deck like the Ascendancy deck. It's really, really, you're doing yourself a favor by keeping things so clear, and you're also doing your opponent a favor by making sure that there is no ambiguity in the game state.
Yeah, and Luis is playing this perfectly. He's making sure his Fate Stitcher is a 3/4 in response to the Searing Blaze so that he can combo off with it. He just knows this deck very well. I really like how he's playing it.
I've watched him play a few times. He's a very enterprising young Frenchman, and he certainly knows the ins and outs of this deck, as you say. He knows how to wrangle this 75 and get the W. Here's a Lightning Bolt in response. That
yeah, and
Alexander
even there,
Hayden
he
token
can
still representing the Jeskai Ascendancy trigger.
He can still go, yeah, he's gonna Lightning Bolt in response, draw another card, untap Fate Stitcher once again. Yeah, he's playing this so well. He's still got the Spell Pierce also, in case he needs it.
Jeskai Ascendancy really showing itself as a powerhouse engine card, a real way that enables a quite resilient combo, Moraine Labette.
Yeah, we've seen it win through multiple removal spells, whereas it really needs his 1/2s or his 2/1s to win. Just that you can win at instant speed, and that's so important. He's actually gonna let that one die because he's got another one in the graveyard already by now. And this way also the Searing Blaze fizzles, which gains him basically, oh no, it doesn't fizzle, it still deals 3 damage.
Still does 3 damage upstairs. Of course, Searing Blood wouldn't do the same thing, but Searing Blaze, that damage is coming at you no way, no how. Doesn't matter what happens, still taking your 3. Here's the Thought Scour. Dig through time in the bin along with an Arid Mesa. Draws a card. Salvidio has a peek through the graveyard. What's going on in there, he says. Searing Blaze still on the stack in response to that Fairy Conclave activation. Take 3, says Del Toro. Thought Scour hitting the bin. So, Fairy Conclave online. We see a Treasure Cruise, a Serum Visions, a Dig Through Time. Del Toro favouring the dig over the cruise, Moraine Labette. A 4-1 split in favour of dig.
He's playing 4 Dig Through Time?
That's what it says in the paper in front of me, and who am I to doubt it?
That's strange. I think well, this is the second Dig Through Time, so I guess it's correct. I think Channel Fireball had it the other way around. I'm not 100% sure.
Here's Dig Through Time. You can see Olivier Ruel and Alexander Hayne representing once again those Jeskai Ascendancy triggers. I'm a huge fan of the way that Del Toro is playing this. Draws, discards. There's little whiteboard marks on the creatures, a 2/3 and a 3/2. Let's have a look at the top 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What do you got? Cataxian Probe amongst them. Another Ascendancy. A Bolt. Looks like another dig as well. He likes the look of that dig, slams it into the hand.
Yeah, dig is basically for free. He's got Fate Stitcher and Fairy Conclave. It loots him. It gets +1/+1 to every of his creature, and he gets to look at 7 new cards. Basically all he wants.
Untap my hallowed fountain. Float a blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What are we going to see here? It is Treasure Cruise. Cruising for a bruising. Louis Del Toro looking for the tools he's going to need to win this game. He might already have them. So, while Del Toro fiddles through the rest of his deck, we're going to head back to our original match here. We have Niccolo Bellini to the left of your screen, Miguel Gatica on the right. That looks like a Serum Visions that's just finished resolving off the back of a steam vent that's come down and shocked its controller. And here is a Birds of Paradise, a fantastic start for the Birthing Pod deck.
Yep, just what he wants. He did have it last time around as well. That one got killed immediately by a lightning bolt, but it was fine for her. That meant the lightning bolt was already gone. And this Birds of Paradise might actually live.
We didn't see the snap bolt get that out of here.
Yeah, he was stepped out because of the Serum Visions, but we might see it now. Maybe a Monastery Swift Spear and a lightning bolt or a Fork Bolt. That would be basically the perfect sequence for Miguel Gatica.
And it is indeed Swift Spear into removal spell, Lightning Bolt. The marquee card of Modern, really.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt is probably like 50% of the decks runs Lightning Bolt. We've got Scape Shift, we've got all the Delver decks, we've got Burn, we've got Junt, Splinter Twin. Surprisingly, we haven't seen any Splinter Twin again. We did see some yesterday with Patrick Dickman, and a couple of his friends were also playing, but it seems like he did not have the best day so far.
No, hasn't been a good weekend for the enchantment from Rise. As we see now, a basic Plains enter the battlefield, thanks to the Windswept Heath. Bellini's life total still at a healthy 17. Gataka on 15 here. And here's a Voice of Resurgence. Once again, as we alluded to previously, Marine, this is a card that is somewhat claustrophobic for the Timo deck.
Yeah, Voice of Resurgence, very hard to deal with. Needs to be dealt with 2 removal spells or a Pillar of Flame. And it's just, as we said, the Temur Delver deck, it plays at instant speed. And if Voice of Resurgence is in play, that's not a plan. So very crucial. For only 2 mana, it's just so good.
This is your own forest. Gatica considering his options. He's got 4 cards in the grip. Bellini sitting serene. Here's a fetch land activation. Let's go through the Misty Rainforest, find out what's on the other side. It is an island. Gatica not interested in taking any more damage. And with his colours set up quite nicely, no real need to. Lightning Bolt in the hand, along with the Mana Leak.
Yeah, but if he wants the Mana Leak to be decent, he needs to Lightning Bolt. Yeah, there we go.
There's a bolt.
Otherwise, the Mana Leak wouldn't be too good. Dennis Rashid, you're smiling.
Yeah, and I just saw some of the more busted things that this format has to offer. We saw the Amulet of Vigor Summer Bloom deck go off on turn 3, which is, I guess, pretty normal for that deck, just attacking for arbitrarily large amounts of damage, killing the Affinity deck. So 1-1 in that match. And we also saw in Sagal versus Lanto, Eduardo Sagal played Birds of Paradise turn 1, a Jeskai Ascendancy turn 2, and killed his opponent. 1-1 in that match.
There you go, explosive stuff coming from the other tables. As we return our attention back to the Bellini Gatica Pod versus Delver match. Here's a Tarmogoyf, so a pretty hefty threat there as Bellini cracks open a Verdant Catacombs.
Does Miguel Gatica have any Scavenging Ooze? Yeah, he does have 1. It's a very good card in this matchup. Make sure that the Kitchen Finks doesn't come back. Burner's Redcap will also be very big. So if he could draw, although he's kind of short on green mana, he's got only 1 green mana to go with that island and that steam vent.
Bellini taps for 3. There's a Choke. That's a key card That is a key card when it comes to beating Delver. Only restricting Gataka to a single stomping ground now. Islands don't untap. Here we are with a big attack though. The choke coming at a point where Gataka has already developed his board to a good level. But will that mana denial prove to be decisive in the result of this game?
If we see a Siege Rhino now, it's pretty much game over for Miguel Gatica. If we see something else, he might still be in it, but it's certainly not looking very good. These two islands not untapping. Choke is such a strange card, all the way from Tempest, made it into a core set, and it wasn't very popular in the beginning in Modern, but now with Delver being into the format again, people picked it up. They are playing it in all sorts of green decks, and it's just so good against the Delver decks.
It really is a very, very hateful, very narrow card. But I mean, with Islands running rampant being the best land in the game, of course, we're going to see it certainly have an impact.
I don't agree that Islands are the best. Look at that, Loxodon Hierarch. Wow, that's been a while.
It's been a while, taking you all the way back.
That's like Siege Rhino, but only a 4/4 instead of 4/5, and only gain life instead of lose life as well. But what a great card. A 4/4, I think for 1 green and 1 white, you actually regenerate all your creatures or something like that. And now Miguel Gatica has to ship the turn. Yeah, this is looking bad. This is looking very bad for the Delver player. Voice of Resurgence, just to make sure that you can't counter anymore, even though you don't have many mana anyways. And he's got all he needed. Basically, what he needs to seal the deal is like 1 flyer now, so that the Delver of Secrets doesn't kill him anymore, and then it's just pretty much game over.
So ladies and gentlemen, we are at your beck and call. We are here to serve. We're here to give the fans what they want, ladies and gentlemen. So before too much longer, these guys, we're actually going to head over and show you the Summer Bloom Amulet of Vigor combo match against Dario Parazzoli's Affinity, which is a little bit unorthodox, the Affinity list. So we're going to see 2 rather off-the-wall decks. As soon as those guys are sat down and ready to go, they're shuffling up a mulligan as we speak. So some more traditional Modern in the intervening minutes, but before long, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be our great pleasure to bring the fans what they want. Don't even worry about that. Here's a Sin Collector.
Here's a Sin Collector. The Sin Collector has been there for a couple of turns. And now, Spellskite, yeah, this is pretty much game over, really. Spike Feeder as well. The Elemental took casually a 6/6. Can get regenerated. Yeah, this spells all kinds of trouble for Miguel. I mean, he could mana leak like the Spike Feeder, but that doesn't accomplish anything. It would even mean that his land wouldn't untap anymore. I don't really see his plan here.
Honestly, Swiss Spear on the Chumpsies. Still got the Tamako. How is Gatica going to weave this web? We're not going to find out, unfortunately, because we have Affinity versus Amulet combo. It is Parazzoli on the left, Glogowski on the right. We see a 0 land start. However, playing 4 0-cost artifacts there for Parazzoli, with our Glogowski on the right, leading with Talaria West, the transmute land from the future Sagal. Here is a Frogmite, also for free, the 4-drop with Affinity for artifacts. The Welding Jar at the bottom of your screen there as the Mem Knights come across. Talaria West untaps. Both of these players on a mulligan of 6.
Uh-oh. We're gonna see some crazy stuff here. Is this Summer Bloom time?
Here's Amulet of Vigor with and there's a Summer Bloom. So here we go. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, because it is time to party.
Already? Primeval Titan again, turn 2. Holy moly, guys. This is crazy. Modern is such a great format.
Old Mate Primetime coming down. Find a Slayer's Stronghold.
Just like that, man. Amulet of Vigor, Summer Bloom, Primeval Titan, turn 2, kill you.
attack you for 8 with Vigilance.
He's still got to search 2 lands. He's not over. He's not done.
He's not done.
He's not done.
Things aren't finished yet. We're just getting started. We're just revving up the engine, ladies and gentlemen.
He can't give it double strike just yet, but next turn he can.
Next turn he can with, of course, the Sunhome Fortress of the Legion, of course. Let's find a couple of other lands. Here's a gemstone mine. And that is Ghost Court.
Such a beautiful deck. I mean, this Amulet combo is I'm such a big fan, honestly. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna jam up Magic Online and I'm gonna play at least 10 matches with this deck.
At least.
I'm gonna learn it, man. I'm such a big fan. Summer Bloom, seriously. Amulet of Vigor. Oh wow.
Here's Serum Visions. Draw a card. What are the top 2? 1 and 2. Both below decks. Off they go. So Amulet of Vigor, for those of you who aren't aware of what it does, whenever a permanent enters the battlefield and tapped and under your control, untap it. A lot of lands in the deck come into play tapped. Not so, Mr. Secretary. When it comes to Amulet of Vigor, they're going to untap right away. And that enables these explosive targets. Just a turn 2 Primeval Titan.
Just
What's
just
the problem?
like that.
What's the problem? There's no problem here. As we see Parazzoli, no land spin whatsoever. There's a Mirror Enforcer. This is some old school Affinity.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, 3 contested Warzone. How many lands does he run? 4, 8, 12, 15 lands? This deck is crazy.
That's all you need.
3 Scale of the Hisgoria. 4 Gutshot in the sideboard. This deck is great. 2 very great. I mean, Modern is crazy. You guys saying Treasure Cruise is too good? Well, Primeval Titan on turn 2. That's what's too good.
There's the handshake. A turn 2 Primeval Titan, to the surprise of everyone, I think, is enough for a concession from Parazzoli. He has done very well to make it all the way to the top 8. But Glogowski, with his amazing Summer Bloom Amulet combo deck, he mentioned while interviewed about it in the top 8 that people aren't prepared for it. And I mean, I think that's a very true statement. People didn't come packing the heat they needed to overcome this deck, and he finds his way into the semi-final. Congratulations to him as we move back to Bellini as we move now across to Delor and Salvidio. We have Lucantonio Salvidio playing a burn deck against Ascendancy 2.0 in the hands of the Frenchman, Louis Delor. Louis Delor, as expected, we did see some of the match previously, Marine, and Delor was able to get there, chaining dig through time and able to get there at the end. And here is a Goblin Guide off a Sacred Foundry, a good start for Salvidio and the burn deck. Gifts Ungiven on the top, a bit of a giveaway as in terms of the sideboard plan of Delor. Draws gifts. Scalding Ton hits the bin.
Yeah, there's not much the burn deck can do when you play gifts for Iona on red. Basically all your cards except for Treasure Cruise are red.
And Treasure Cruise is just going to draw you more red cards.
Yeah, so it's basically game over if that one resolves. But it is 4 mana and you need to play another 4 mana spell the turn after, so it's not that easy to get going.
No, it's not up until turn 5, you'd think.
Yeah, they usually don't run Birch of Paradise or Noble Hierarch or Sylvan Caryatid, so it is indeed turn 5 the earliest.
Serum Vision's going to resolve here. Louis Delor has a look at the top cards of his library. He can keep them above or send them below decks.
Yeah, and Serum Vision is really good against Goblin Guide. If there's one land in there, he can just keep it on top and draw it for free.
Absolutely. Doesn't look like that's the way it goes, though, as he shifts the turn back after resolving the Serum Vision. Turn 2, Salvidio, we have Arid Mesa. That's going to hit the bin straight away. Search himself up a land. We could see a Sacred Foundry. We could see a mountain.
Interestingly enough, though, if you have like a land on top with Serum Visions, you might not even want to keep it. Like if you're already holding enough lands, then you could ship it to the bottom. Your top card could still be a land, then it's gone, and you get to see the second card. If it's not a land, then you draw a non-land spell, which is good as well. As long as you're holding enough lands, it might be correct to ship these lands to the bottom.
And that's the downfall of a card like Goblin Guide. Whenever you're offering your opponent a choice, it does make it easier for them to make the correct one. And here it is, 3 Goblin Guides, 1, 2, and 3. In they come. And the top is Timely Reinforcements. It'll be interesting to see if he has enough time for these reinforcements even to arrive.
Yeah, I'm a bit afraid. He's already at 11 now. And if he doesn't have Pyroclasm, he's taking 6 again next turn.
Here's the Serum Visions. Draws a card. It's a negate. Scry 2, 1 and 2. What are they? Both going below decks. No interest in drawing those cards. Non-mercy, says Deltor, in perfect French. Here's a Steam Vents tapped. So, 6 at least on the board, as it is.
Double Lightning Bolt and it's over, again on turn 3. Are we seeing another turn 3 kill here?
The speed of this format, the blistering pace, it's a path to exile on the top of the library. The blistering pace of Modern really makes for some absolutely explosive and exciting games. Path to draw. Does he have the land for Timely Reinforcements? I can see what looks like a Flooded Strand. That's going to cost him 3 life.
Or, no, he could get a Plains. He should have one.
Forgive me, he could indeed get a Plains. And there it is.
Down to 4. This means he's dead to Boros Charm. And if Lucanto has Skullcrag, he's dead. And he didn't play anything. He didn't even play a third land, so he's basically got it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we see it. Skullcrag in response. He goes now down to 1. Does get 3 tokens though, so these can block next turn.
So the Timely Reinforcements being waylaid somewhat and not giving Deltor the life he was hoping for. He is now on 1 life. So, absolutely nothing in it. Salvidio, you would assume, has a hand full of cards that are going to put this game away. I can see an Eidolon of the Great Rebel. I can see a lightning bolt being pointed upstairs at the Frenchman's face, and he says, that's enough of that. Packs up the cards.
If I were Salvidio, I would have attacked first, just to take a look at the top card of Luis Deltour's deck.
Gain a little bit of extra life for sure.
Extra information, yeah. That's. I mean, there's no sacrifice in doing that. Just getting in there and you get some more information. You might see like a second copy of Timely Reinforcement, and that's a very important card to know of.
So as we have a look at the sideboards of these two gentlemen, Deltor on the left, Salvidio on the right, Deltor looks like he's got access to the Gifts Ungiven package and no fewer than 3 copies of Timely Reinforcements. Deltor giving respect to the aggressive burn decks, the Delver decks, giving them the respect they're due with 3 whole sideboard slots. Giga Drowse as well may come into play. We're not sure. We'll find out. Dispel, Swan Song, and a couple of Wear and Tears. Let's move over now to the Sagal match, however. We have Eduardo Sagal. He's playing against Magnus Lanto. We have Jeskai Ascendancy 1.5 in the capable hands of Sagal, and it is Magnus Lanto on pod, and you can see Lanto to the left-hand side of your screen. Sagal on the right. Sagal enjoying the access to green mana here. It's given him some resilient mana creatures in terms of having, and you can see them on your screen, Sylvan Caryatid. Here's the Sin Collector.
Yeah, this game's not looking very good for Eduardo. The Chalice at 1 makes sure he can't play any cantrips. The Lilivala says that he can't use his Sylvan Caryatids. Yeah, he needs to find at least 2 answers. And then there's still the Birthing Pod, which is now going to search up a 2 mana, probably a Spellskite or something like that.
There it is, calling it in the shots in the dark. Well done indeed, Moraine Lobert. He knows what's up.
So now he needs 2 removal spells and first an answer to Chalice of the Void.
Chalice of the Void, of course, a card that has found its way into the main deck of many powerful places at the top of this event. It's a very hateful card when a deck is basically half 1-drops, as we see the Delver decks these days are. Is it Delver mostly full of 1 casting cost spells? Chalice of the Void, a very potent card in hating out these Delver decks, as we see Linvala crash into the red zone. Here's a Voice of Resurgence. activation of Pod. And it is Eidolon of Rhetoric, and the big thumbs up.
Just to make sure, man. Just to make sure. So now, all he needs is 3 removal spells and a way to deal with the Chalice of the Void.
That has to be spread across 3 turns.
Yep.
No worries at all. No worries at all. Eduardo Sadgalik, he knows what's up. He's got a Slaughter Pact, but he's also got a concession, a handshake, and that will do it. There you go.
Look at the amount of hate there was on the table.
So hateful.
So hateful.
So hateful.
It's just, wow. Spellskite, Eidolon of Rhetoric. There's more. What else did he have?
Chalice.
Chalice of the Void and Linvala.
We're back now to our Ascendancy Combo versus Burn match. Del Tor, you can see him there on the left, the handsome Frenchman shuffling up against Salvidio. He's looking over his options in his Burn deck. The Jeskai colours once again. Let's have a look at his sideboard. He's got Wear and Tear. He's got Smash to Smithereens, 1 Combust, a couple of Core Firewalkers, Flames of the Bloodhound, Torpor Orb, Molten Rain, and 1 Relic of Progenitus. What do you like here? He's got to adapt. Certainly, he's got to bring in some. Certainly, try to make his deck a little bit better. Is Salvidio looking at Wear and Tear as a way to deal with the Ascendancy?
Yeah, Wear and Tear for sure. He's probably going to sideboard the Relic of Progenitus as well, and I think that might be maybe Combust to deal with. Yeah, Combust probably as well, as an uncounterable answer to the Fate Stitcher.
Sure.
Maybe he's got enough of these already. Not sure if he's bringing in Combust, but certainly Wear and Tear and Relic of Progenitus.
The difficult thing about Combust is, like, sure, you can't counter the 5 damage that is being done, but you can play a bunch of instants in response to pump your Fate Stitcher through your Jeskai Ascendancy. I mean, that's always the way that these things can end up going. But in terms of these other cards, Torpor Orb not having much to say in a match like this, Smash to Smithereens, losing utility against a combo deck that's based around an enchantment. But as for Del Tor, we saw him sideboard in the Gifts Ungiven package as my good friend and colleague Marine Libert said, Iona, Shield of Emeria, a stone cold killer against the Burn deck.
I think his best card for Salvidio in Cyber is probably the Singleton Relic of Progenitus. It basically stops the complete Gifts Ungiven plan. We've already seen that Lewis is on that one. And it also could stop the Fate Stitcher plan, although you do not get, well, you do actually to response to the Unearthed, so it also stops that plan. So certainly a good card to bring in.
Certainly, and as far as Del Tor's concerned, he has timely reinforcements as a 3 of in the sideboard, and I'd imagine all 1, 2, 3 of them would be slammed into his starting 60. As these wizards here shuffling up, ready to go. I'd like to thank you once again for your company here at GP Milan. It's been fantastic to have you watch throughout the weekend. It's been fantastic to bring you this event live, hot and fresh, all the way from Italy. And of course, in the booth here with Marine Libert, my name's Riley Knight.
So we still got 5 possible winners, right? We've got these 2 guys still playing. Lewis doesn't look very happy after his ski, but he still kept. Then we do have Piotr Gogowski with his crazy Amulet deck. We've got Magnus Lanto with his Birthing Pod deck, and then we've got Niccolo Bellini also with his Birthing Pod deck. So 2 copies of Birthing Pod in the semi-finals.
The Abzan colours once again proving their resiliency. Birthing Pod, a real house, an absolute engine here in the modern format, and one that has stuck around for a long time. We've seen decks come and go, but Birthing Pod proving once again that he is worthy of being at the top tables. Mountain tapped, and here's another Goblin Guide. Del Tor gonna have a quick read of that one. That's fine, he says. In it comes, and it's an Izzet Charm on top.
Yeah.
He don't want to draw that one, he says.
No, he wants to kill the Goblin Guide right away. He's probably going to go for a basic mountain and then just kill it. Yeah, there we see it.
Look at this. It's almost as if you can see into the future. The prognostications of Marine Libert once again proving to be correct.
I think I would have liked fetching before the ability, because you probably don't want your top card to be a land, and then you get it for free. Now he might draw a land, and the Goblin Guide has already resolved. So I think I like fetching before.
There's a lightning bolt. Here comes Flooded Strand. Shift the turn. Salvidio draws. He's got a Sacred Foundry in hand, another land. Looks like a Skullcrack as well, and is in his grip. Plays a mountain. What's he got? Taps a mountain. Here's another Goblin Guide. Well, we do have the old pyrostatic pillar on legs, Eidolon of the Great Rebel. And it looks like that's what we're going to see here.
And then Lewis with an interesting choice. He can Path to Exile or he can Lightning Bolt. I think he should Path to Exile actually. Because Path to Exile, if there's no creatures on the board, he can use it to go for the combo. Whereas Lightning Bolt he can always play. But he might actually have cybered out his complete combo. I think that's what he did. He just cybered out Jeskai Ascendancy and Fate Stitcher, and he went for a more controlish plan with Gifts Ungiven. He's got how many cards he's cybering in? He's got 3 Gifts Ungiven, 1 Iona, 1 Unburied Rites, 1 Dispel, 1 Negate, and 3 Timely Reinforcements. Yeah, he certainly cybered out Jeskai Ascendancy and Fate Stitcher. He just doesn't trust his combo plan after cyber with so many removal spells with 3 Wear and Tear, which, interestingly, Salvidio might have cybered it, but could do nothing at all.
That's right, if Salvidio hasn't got onto that next level, he may indeed have decided in 3 effectively dead cards. Here's a Goblin Guide. Monastery Swift Spear also in Salvidio's hand. Are we going to see her?
Is it a her?
The Swift Spear?
Yeah.
For sure. Goblin Guide reveals Scalding Tarn into the hand. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, says Del Toro. And a Path to Exile on the Goblin Guide. So still getting value out of the path.
Yeah. Well, if he cybered out the Jeskai Ascendancy, it makes a lot of sense to go for the bolt instead of the Path to Exile. In this game going much better for Luis Samuel Del Toro.
Absolutely.
The last game he was looking at 3 Goblin Guides, and now he managed to get rid of the three creatures.
And that Goblin Guide, really, I mean, Del Toro taking advantage of the poor Goblin, it must be said. Drawing a land off him, thanks for that, he says. Now also, get out of here, buddy. Into the exile zone for you. Here is Eidolon of the Great Rebel, off of the Sacred Foundry that has shocked Salvidio on the way down. What does Del Toro have to say about that? He may indeed have a response. He cracks a fetch. He's going to find another land. And there you can see, as we have a quick look through his deck, I don't see any Ascendancies. I do, however, see Timely Reinforcements. Here's Steam Vents. So Del Toro morphing into something of a sort of funny Jeskai control deck after board.
Yeah,
right?
and correctly so. I mean, it's hard to kill your opponent with 1/2s and 2/1s when he's got at least 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Searing Blaze.
And there's the 5th land for the burn deck. That's awkward.
Yeah, well, one of them was thanks to the Path to Exile. He's actually going to get a 6th land here. And by cybering out all of these Fate Stitchers and these Fairy Conclaves, he actually gives Salvidio a lot of dead cards. I mean, Searing Blaze doesn't do anything anymore. And if he cybered Wear and Tear, also that one doesn't do anything anymore. I'm curious if Salvidio realizes what's happening.
Here's the mountain. Salvidio perusing the graveyard of his opponent as he considers his next move. There you go, mate. Have that back. Here's a mountain. And it is Relic of
Now,
Progenitus.
that is a great game for... This is going to be a crazy game. I mean, this basically spoils the complete game plan of Luis Samuel Del Toro. How is he going to win now?
Yeah.
Gifts Ungiven doesn't work anymore. Does he have anything to deal with it? Did he cyber Wear and Tear? I don't think he will. If Salvidio realizes this, and he sits back on his Relic of Progenitus, I don't think Samuel Del Toro can win.
It'll have to be very mediocre beats with Fairy Conclave.
Yeah.
The old 9-turn clock Fairy Conclave. Getcha. Alright, activation of the Relic. In response, dig through time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here are the 7 cards. Going to have a look at all 7, and he can put 2 in his hand, whichever 2 he likes. Other ones go on the bottom in any order. Let's have a look. What's he got? There's another dig. Always happy to see that. Dispel. And what looks like a bunch of lands. I can see a Fairy Conclave amongst them. Path to Exile.
There's one more plan for Lewis Samuel Delor. Hardcast the Iona.
Hardcast?
Yeah.
For the modest price of 9 mana.
Yeah.
You too could have a 7/7 flyer that shuts off your opponent's deck. So, dig through time has resolved. Salvidio says go. Delor obliges, untaps, draws a card. He finds Gifts Ungiven, 1 turn, 2
turns too late.
Too late.
How is he gonna win? I think he will actually have to fire off Gifts Ungiven for like 4 lands. I don't know how he's gonna win now.
Relic of Progenitus proving to be an enormously tricky thorn in the side of Delor here with his post-board plan. Here's a Monastery Swiftspear. That's fine, says Delor. He's got a Thoughtscar in his hand. In she comes. Crack the fetch. Take 1. Go to 12. Search up a land.
I think Salvidio realized what Delor was gonna try. I haven't seen a single Searing Blaze. I haven't seen the wear and tears. I think he realized after game 2.
Here's a Thoughtscar in response. Dispel still in Deltor's hand. Target myself. One, 2. Treasure Cruise, Flooded Strand. Another card into the hand. Most rudely not showing us. It looked like a lightning bolt.
If he mills the Iona, he doesn't have a way to win, except for the Fairy Conclaves.
Here's a dig through time.
He needs to find his white sources. Does he have enough white sources in his deck to play the Iona? He's got 1 Hallowed Fountain, 1 Plains, 1 Sacred Foundry, 1 Seachrome Coast. That's it. He's got 4 white sources in his deck. He might have milled already some of them.
As we see, there's the Unburial Rites. That's going to the bottom of the library. No interest in drawing that. It's the worst place for that card to be. So there's the Swiftspear getting in for 1 after that flurry of activity from the Frenchman.
Another plan is Timely Reinforcements, giving him the 3/1/1s. This game is crazy, man. He's probably, that's his plan now.
And here is, indeed, Timely Reinforcements. Both halves of the card are good at the moment. He has less life, and he also has fewer creatures. But there's a Skullcrack once again, spoiling the party. I hope the Timely Reinforcements brought an umbrella, because Salvidio is raining on their parade.
Oh, he does have the wear and tear. He did cyber it. He's got it in hand. Yeah, this game... Lewis, he's my hero, man. He's prepared for everything. He prepared for the singleton Relic of Progenitus. Well, it also does something against the Eidolon of the Great Revel. It would have been even better if he really anticipated on the singleton Relic of Progenitus, bringing in wear and tear. But it also deals with the Eidolon of Great Revel, so that makes even more sense to bring it in then.
Lightning Bolt, the Swiftspear in the upkeep. It hits the bin. He's tapped out. Delor doing a very, very good job of navigating these choppy waters. But you're absolutely right, with the Gifts Ungiven in hand, he's able to utilize the wear and tear to make sure that the relic isn't able to completely shut off his game plan. We saw before that Dispel actually acting as the umbrella and managing to get rid of the Skullcrack. So both of these wizards at parity on 17 life points apiece. Delor draws, it's his 7th land, it is a Flooded Strand. In come the soldiers, he's at 15. He can now cast Timely Reinforcements and gain no life and no creatures.
Wonderfully played by Lewis. I mean, he didn't make a single mistake. He's playing it perfectly. He cybered it perfectly. Very well played. He's at 17 live. There's no way he's losing this game.
Lava Spike upstairs. Push you to 14. Salvidio's hand, 2 cards, perhaps 3. Wear Tear also has a little bit of extra added utility in that it can kill Eidolon of the Great Revel.
That's what I mentioned a couple of minutes ago.
I'm glad I was listening to every word you said. And there goes the final time of the reinforcements from the bin, forcing an activation of the Relic of Progenitus. Salvidio is going to draw a card of it.
And now the gifts ungiven. This is game.
This is key. Here's the Unburial Rites, and here's the Iona, as predicted. So, out of the cards that I've picked, please choose 2 to go into the graveyard. Oh, you pick those 2. Well indeed. There's the handshake. Salvidio gives it up against Iona, Shield of Emeria, and Louis Del Tor. Absolutely, masterfully navigating his way through that match in order to win 2 games to 1 against Salvidio on Burn, finishing at a very comfortable 14 life. But in a bit of a pickle, Moraine Liebert, for a few moments, although Wear and Tear once again proving its worth as a sideboard card, and Del Tor, full credit to him, sideboarding with enormously precise foresight.
Yeah, very well cybered. He's got 2 copies of Wear and Tear. He knows he can find them with Dig Through Time. He brought them in against the Eidolons, and as a surplus, it also kills Relic of Progenitus. Only 1 relic in the sideboard, but he drew it. Lewis was ready with it.
Del Tor able to really put his opponents onto the ropes, take him to account, and give him the beating that is going to get Del Tor, the Frenchman, through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. 4 players remain at GP Milan.